folks, say hello Bob.
Hello Bob.
Right, on the bench today we've got an Epiphone Les Paul Standard Pro in a lovely blue colour. It's just come in, brand new out the box, but it requires its initial setup, as obviously most guitars do. So Bob, what are we doing today on this?
First thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the truss rod to get the neck relief right. And once that's set up, we're going to adjust the string guide to get the playing action right. Then we're going to adjust the pickups to get that action right. And hopefully that should be it.
Cool, let's zoom in for a close-up.
Before you start the truss rod adjustment, you need to get access with the Allen key. So you need to take the strings out the road of it. Use this little tool like this. And you should gain access to the strings, leaving a clear access for your Allen key onto the truss rod.
We'll make our initial assessments tonight, ready to start the job in the morning. So for there folks, we'll leave you to it and you'll see us in the next video. Right guys, the first job was to take the initial measurements to see what we needed to work with. We did this just last night. You'll see in the frame Bob just playing with his feeler gauges just to get the final measurements. Really, it's important to let the neck set, not try to do this in one go. So how far away are we, Bob?
We're just very close now. Just all I've got to do is just a final tweak and that should be within the range. And I'll do that now, which is just a push on the Allen key and then another final check. And there we have it.
The right clearance for playing.
12th thou.
12th thou. You heard it folks. Nice and steady. Slow. Do it in stages. Don't rush it.
And don't forget to put the capo on the top fret before you do it. Having adjusted the truss rod, it is now to set the action and at the bridge height. To do this now, we need to take a measurement of the 17th fret, which it needs to be roughly about 1.6 mil. So to do that, screwdriver on the bridge and screw it down till it just starts to catch the string. This is just a nominal measurement. It could be up or down depending on what type of action you want. And on the bass string, it should be about 2 mil. So you take that down as well. Till it fits. And that should be it.
Time for the restring. Right guys, time for a restring. Why are we putting brand new strings on a brand new guitar? Generally you don't know how long the strings have been on. They're probably a stock string, which won't always be the best quality, and intonating the guitar, which will be the final stage of the video. You can't really do it unless you've got fresh strings that have been stretched in. So this applies also for a pre-owned guitar or any used guitar. In the interest of hygiene, you want to make sure it's clean really. So we're going to put a fresh set of strings on, which will make it easier in the long run to set up and stay in tune. So fast forward video probably coming any second now, and we'll see you in a minute. Right guys, all strung up, time to stretch them in, because we're never going to intonate it unless we stretch them in. Another fast paced video and we'll be back for the final stages of the intonation setup. Right guys, intonation time. What is it? How is it set? I'll give you a brief description, then Bob will show you how we actually set it and what it entails. In a nutshell, the length from the open string at the nut to the 12th fret should be exactly the same from the 12th fret to the saddle. These can be adjusted individually, which Bob will give a demonstration in just a moment, but the concept is keeping that exactly the same length as that. The guitar will then be perfectly intonated. They're not done brand new out the box. We generally spend a couple of hours doing each one. We'll give you just a few minutes example of what Bob does on a daily basis here.
Right, to start the intonation now, you're going to do it on the first string here. You check and make sure that first string is in tune, which it is. The open string. Now you put your finger on the 12th fret and do the same again. And you'll see by looking at that it's slightly over. That means that the length, if it's sharp, if it's over, it means the string length is slightly too short. So what we do, screw there, and we take that saddle back slightly. I'll just take it back quite a lot so you can see exactly what it does. Make it in tune again, which is sharp now. Tune it up again. And then again at the 12th fret, and that now is perfect.
The next stage then will be to do exactly the same with every string. I can't stress we're giving you a very quick approach to this. We would do this in tiny increments, each time tuning the string back up to pitch. If we work on the B string now, for example, that's showing that the B almost in tune. And then at the 12th fret, after a tiny tweak, is now perfectly in tune. If that's showing sharp or flat, again, as Bob mentioned, in shortening or lengthening the string, we would move in tiny increments, hit the string again, tune it up, retouch the 12th. This process can take just a few hours sometimes, other times it can be minutes. Bit of a painful process. If you do this, the guitar will sound as good as any guitar you'll ever buy. Right, Bob, what's the final job?
The last job now is to set the height of the pickups. Generally, as a general rule of thumb, you need to be roughly a 1/16 of an inch away on the small E and about an 1/8 of an inch away on the big E. And to do this, with this particular guitar, there are two adjusting screws either side of the pickup that will raise or lower them. Now, we'll look at the measurement. It's roughly slightly too high. So if I take that down, it's not a critical measurement, but it stops it pinging if it gets too close. It also stops it from catching the pickup. The 1/16 of an inch should do on the small string. That's okay. And on the large string, a little 1/8 of an inch. You drop that down a little bit more because that's a little bit close. And the other one. Notice that I'm actually holding the string down on the last fret because that's where a lot of pressure will happen to be when you're playing. And that concludes the string height and the pickup height. It's good to go now, we need to give it a try.
Right guys, time to give it a try now. Final thing, we did have to go back to the neck and give another adjustment. As Bob will say on many times on these videos, it's not just a case of doing this once and then the guitar's ready. Over a few days the neck can move, the intonation can fall out, the string tuning can fall. So we do have to repeat some of these steps a few times, just give you an overview. But this I think is good to go. Let's hope we do the guitar a bit of justice. folks, say hello, Bob.
Hello there.
As usual, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and give us a like. We'll see you next time. Guys. Are you ready?
Yeah. Say when.
When?
When? You're on.
Oh, we're on. Turn it off.
Oh gosh.
Having set the truss rod, it's now time to set the truss rod height.
You've just bloody set the truss rod.
Oh, of course I did that last job.
Don't shop here, folks. Don't shop here, whatever
Get
you
to
do.
a proper shop. Having set the truss rod height, you got me at it there.
A bloody truss rod.
Right.
Right, this is a screwdriver. Right, that's a guitar.
This is a screwdriver. Oh, this is, I don't know. Right.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Right, let's just try and get it right this time because I want to go out.
Having trusted.
It's just painful there. Bob, I love you.
I'll get out one of them days.
Something like that.
Right then.
Oh, bloody hell.